It may be seriously panic time in Phoenix for the Phoenix Suns because they have now lost 4 games in a row and currently have a record of 15 and 18 in a stacked and loaded Western Conference. So it's going to be hard for this team to recover, and they have just been playing really bad basketball over the past month or so and had a horrible loss to the Indiana Pacers last night. They did lose by 18 points against a Pacers team that really has no business in beating this Phoenix Suns team because even though they didn't have Yusuf Nurkic starting, he was, not playing, but still, it doesn't matter if you don't have Yusuf Nurkic. You still have Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, and Kevin Durant. You should, with those three guys playing at their, peak level that they can play at their time in their career. This is a team that should be able to easily beat the Indiana Pacers, and it's obviously not just this one game. They have been horrible that we'll talk about here in a little bit in the video. But talking about this Pacers game, I mean, Kevin Durant, good performance, 25 points. He was fairly efficient, 9 of 14 from the field, 1 of 3 from the three-point line, and also got you 7 rebounds and 7 assists. Did have 5 turnovers, but I don't think you could really put the blame on Kevin Durant for the lack of success from the Phoenix Suns. Bradley Beal had a really bad game, and to be honest, that's the guy that I'd be looking to move and looking to trade. I don't think Bradley Beal in 2025 is really a winning basketball player. He still can score the ball at a pretty high level on any given night, and he still has that offensive firepower, but I don't like his defense. I don't like his decision making, and I think he's honestly, in the long run, a worse asset to your team than actually benefiting you, especially when he's not playing alongside good defenders and he's playing alongside Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. Those are two all NBA caliber players, and they are known for their scoring ability. Kevin Durant, one of the best scorers of all time. Devin Booker, one of the best current scorers in the NBA. A guy that can really score all 3 levels. Putting Bradley Beal next to those two guys, I mean, his skill sets, whatever skill sets he has, with scoring the ball, doesn't really complement Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. If you're talking about that third star, that third guy in the big three, you'd want it to be either a point guard that can really facilitate for Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, but mainly I would say as a guy that can be a really good defender and a guy that doesn't need the ball in his hands to be effective. Yusuf Nurkic, I don't think's really had a great season. We'll talk more about their numbers and who's played well for this Phoenix Suns team and kind of what the issue is right now and why they've been struggling. But just to talk about them struggling, like we can take a look at their schedule, and it has not been pretty at all recently. They have, like I said, lost the last 4 games in a row. They lost 1 game to Indiana last night, like I've been talking about. They lost to Memphis by 5. They lost to Golden State by 4. And then they did lose to Dallas as well. So they're not getting completely blown out, and they have played some good teams. Like Memphis is good, Golden State can be good, and Dallas, I believe that was without Luka Doncic, so that was a bad loss for the Phoenix Suns. They do beat Denver by 10 points on Christmas. That was a good win there, but then they lost the game prior to that, kind of got blown out in a really bad loss for the Phoenix Suns against the Denver Nuggets. They also lost to the Pistons. They lost to the Pacers again. So in their last, 8 games, I believe, are they 1-7? I could be wrong with my math, but I believe in their last 8 games, they're 1-7, which is absolutely god awful. We take a look at their schedule coming up here. I mean, they do have some easier games, but Atlanta is really not an easy out. So, they're not an easy team to beat. So it's not really a guaranteed win for them there. Philadelphia has been playing a lot better. The Sixers are starting to figure it out. Joel Embiid's getting back fully healthy and playing a lot better basketball. So it's not going to be an easy game tomorrow on Monday to win. And then you do get, a couple easy games with Charlotte, Utah, Charlotte, Washington. But with how bad this Phoenix Suns team has been playing and with how bad they've looked, none of these games are necessarily easy wins besides maybe the 2 games against Charlotte and the Jazz and the Wizards. But if you're the Phoenix Suns, it is time to panic. We can take a look here at the Western Conference standings and see where the Suns do stack up. And like I said before at the start of the video, this is a stacked Western Conference. You have a team in Sacramento Kings who have not looked good this year, but they're out of the play-in, 3 games under 500, and so are the Phoenix Suns, 3 games under 500. But you have teams like the Minnesota Timberwolves as the 10 seed. We know how electric and how good they can be. We're just in the Western Conference Finals last year. San Antonio has looked really, really good this season. You have teams like Golden State and Clippers who are above 500 and are still in the play-in race. So if you're the Phoenix Suns, I really think it's time to panic, and I think it's time to make some moves. I don't know if I necessarily would blow this team up. I know that's probably a huge speculation on Twitter and what a lot of people are talking about. Should they trade Kevin Durant? Should they trade Devin Booker or Bradley Beal? Should they try to just get as many assets as possible and go into a full rebuild. I'm not really sure if I would necessarily do that. You still have Kevin Durant playing as a top 10 player in the world. Devin Booker is probably still a top 15, top 20 player in the league right now. So you have two guys that can be top 10. I think you really just need to work around those two guys and make some good moves at the deadline. And I think that starts with trading Bradley Beal. Now, if you trade Bradley Beal and get a decent asset for him and a player, is that going to change your season and make this Phoenix Suns team a true contender in the Western Conference? Most likely not. So if you're the Phoenix Suns and you really want to, get the most out of Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, then yes, your best idea is probably to trade those two guys. But it's hard to trade Kevin Durant and Devin Booker because of how good of players they are. And as a franchise like Phoenix, you're not going to be getting those superstar caliber names every single season like the Boston Celtics or the Lakers or the Warriors, right? Teams with huge markets, the New York Knicks, right? Guys that can really recruit, or teams that can really recruit in the offseason to get big name free agents. I don't really see that for Phoenix. I mean, now that they have Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, they can because of those name values. But you trade KD, you trade Booker, you trade Beal, you better be getting a lot of good assets for that and go into a full rebuild and hopefully get some good young players. I'm not sure if I would do that if I'm the Phoenix Suns. I would definitely start with trading Bradley Beal and see how that goes for the remainder of the season. I would probably move on from Yusuf Nurkic as well. I'm not a huge fan of him in 2025. I think he's kind of past his prime and past his ability to be a good starting center in the league. Now, who could you go get for those guys? I'm not 100% sure, but those are definitely two names I would for sure be looking to trade at the trade deadline. So we can take a look here at the regular season numbers for this Phoenix Suns roster, and we can see who's been playing good for the Suns and who's kind of been struggling, and maybe is the big reason why they have been really, really bad to start this year and why they should maybe go into panic mode. But we'll talk here about the two main guys, obviously Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. But with D-Book, he's just not shooting the ball very efficiently. 34% from three, 43% from the field. It's just not up to par on Devin Booker levels. He is, assisting the ball pretty good. He's definitely a good playmaker and stepped into more of a point guard role, averaging 6.5 assists per game, and he's still averaging 25 points. So Devin Booker still an all-NBA caliber player, but really isn't shooting the ball efficiently. Now, Kevin Durant, I don't think has anything to be a blame for with this season for the Suns because he has been extremely, extremely efficient shooting the basketball, 41% from three, 51% from the field. He's giving you almost 28 points per game. He's rebounding the ball very nicely at 6.5 per game and also getting you 4 assists and close to a steal and block as well per game. So Kevin Durant, definitely not to be blamed here for the Phoenix Suns' demise and which is how bad they've been. And I don't think it's on Devin Booker as well. Bradley Beal, I mean, you could look at his stats and, he's not bad stats-wise. Like, he's 38% from the three, 49% from the field, averaging 18 a game. On paper, does it look like Bradley Beal's the problem? No, but he is a horrible, horrible defender, and I don't think he fits well alongside Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. Tyus Jones, I think, has been really good for this Phoenix Suns roster, and I think he's a very good point guard to put alongside Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. He's still averaging 12 points per game, but he's also getting you 6 assists per night and is a really, really good playmaker and passer. And he's shooting the ball really good, 43% from three and also 49% from the field. So, Tyus Jones, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, I don't think are to blame here for the Phoenix Suns. Royce O'Neal has been also pretty good from three, 44%. For me, though, I just think Yusuf Nurkic doesn't fit alongside these guys. Grayson Allen, he's still shooting the ball very good, but they just don't have a very good bench because if you look at guys that are giving you solid, valuable minutes, I mean, maybe Josh Okogie is the last guy in your rotation here. Bull obviously hasn't been getting very much playtime and hasn't played very good in that playtime. But if you talk about how many people they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I guess Mason Plumlee you could count as their backup center, but I don't think he's obviously a very good backup center. So they have less than 10 guys that are being contributors for this Phoenix Suns roster. And Josh Okogie, Mason Plumlee, Ryan Dunn, they're not really that great. I would say it starts at Grayson Allen. Yusuf Nurkic I'm not really liking, but they only have 6 or 7 guys that I think actually deserve to get, solid minutes, in the regular season and the playoffs. So I think their bench is a huge struggle. And overall, this Phoenix Suns team should definitely be going into some type of panic mode. Now, does that mean blowing it up and trading Devin Booker and Kevin Durant? Possibly. It definitely could be so. But let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think the Phoenix Suns should do? If you're the Suns GM, would you go ahead and trade Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, and go into a complete rebuild? Or would you try to tool this team got to retool it. Maybe trade Bradley Beal, maybe trade Yusuf Nurkic or some other assets and try to build around Devin Booker and Kevin Durant and still hope you compete in that championship window because Kevin Durant is, not going to have that many more great seasons in the NBA at age now 35 or 36. But let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about the Phoenix Suns, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.